If you could explain a little bit about what you'll be talking about at this side event in trying to leverage or better use the financing. That's correct, yeah, the financing for the European Union Fund.
Yes, I mean, as European Commission, we provide grant money for developing countries in cooperation and also for tackling climate change. And the point is that, of course, grant money is limited. Especially now when we talk about economic financial crisis, we have limited grant resources. So the idea is how to mix grant resources with other resources coming from banks like loans or from private investors in order to leverage higher amounts which can be used then for climate actions.
Do you have to encourage or somehow try to entice potential financiers into giving money to the climate fund? I mean, is that something that's being done, something that needs to be done?
What we do is we are in close contacts with public development banks, and we are also, of course, in touch with the private sector. And then we see what kind of projects can we finance together. And we have set up for this financing in the recent 4 years specific mechanisms. We call it blending mechanisms. Blending means where you combine grant funding with loan funding or risk capital funding. Yeah, and then these funds can be used to finance specific projects in the field also of tackling climate change, like renewable energy projects, hydropower plants, but also energy efficiency projects. So it's a broad range we can use this money for.
And you're hoping to better leverage those funds? I mean, there is scope for improvement, presumably. Is this what you're aiming at?
Yeah, I mean, I can give you some figures. We have used so far for specific climate financing, we have used so far about 250 million of grants, and the overall project volume finance is more than 10 billion. So this gives you an idea about the leverage we can achieve.
What's in it for them? What's in it for the financiers? How do you convince them that it's worth their while to provide more financing?
On the one hand side, sometimes we provide funding as seed funding. For example, we have established a fund which is called JEREF, where we have seed funding, grant funding, which somehow provides a basis for the others to come in later on, because it is a kind of a guarantee mechanism we have established there. Yeah? On the other hand, very often it's also needed to provide grants for project preparation. And development banks don't have always enough resources to provide these grants, or they don't have these grants. And then we can provide these grants. The project is prepared, the feasibility study is done, and afterwards you can have the project financing starting.
Okay, thank you. So we've got the money, there's been greater financing, plenty of funding. How do we better apply the money that we have available to the various projects that you're working on?
Okay. Well, in fact, maybe the point of view of an implementing agency, because we are an implementing agency of those type of mechanism. Those blending mechanisms are very powerful for blending. It means then to leverage, as my colleague said, to leverage the finance, then to have plenty of instruments, tools, and resources to finance diversity of projects, energy, transport, forest adaptation. But it is also a mechanism that is very interesting because it is flexible. It means that the governance is very light and you can deliver very quickly. And that's, I think, because we implement this for 4 years now, it is could be a very useful example to learn about, maybe for the discussion here in the conference, for the Green Fund, for instance, because it allows an increase of a large amount of resource, but it allows also better coordination among financial institutions and actors, and with the government and the countries. So it could be a very useful. It is a very powerful tool.
I mean, it's one of the challenges, just the sheer number of people, organisations, governments, recipients of aid involved in any particular programme. I mean, are we always striving for greater flexibility in the mechanisms? Is this always going to be a challenge?
Yes, you're right. But I think if you want to manage to deliver 100 billions of US dollar, then you can't deliver it with one actor, even few actors. You have to deliver with a lot of actors. Then, if it is a fact, you have to set up a mechanism that helps coordination. That's another very powerful learning of those type of mechanism, because at the end, all the financial institutions that are implementing those funds work together better, coordination in the field, but also try to align their process and mainstream for the government and for the countries, then to simplify for the countries and counterparts the way to access finance. And we implement, for instance, with the EIB and the KfW, a new initiative of a mutual reliance. It means that at the end we will be able to rely to one actor and that for the other, then to be the leader to implement the finance. It could be also very powerful to act like this with this light mechanism to coordinate actors in the field.